All right. Oh yeah, nice. Display capture. Boink. Remove. I'm in this little corner, hiding. Hopefully, no one will see me. I'm secret. Look at me. I'm hidden. I'm a ninja. Here. Here I'm a little. Hey boss, Atsuki. What up? Gang signs. So today I will be doing another fan art of Backwater Bastards. And this time, let's see if I hit the paint. Oh, no, that should be good. This time I'll be no. Uh, mm, mm, yep. Um, it'll be an elven guard. In general, I'm a huge fantasy nerd, so it's fun to paint on a fantasy theme. So I'm gonna be doing a elven guard for the Backwater Bastards podcast. I'm a sucker. I'm a sucker for it. It's a fun little thing to explore. So why not? A yeah. So Spirit Dude was on yesterday. Talked a bit about THU and so on. It's not many days left for me, and it's gonna be a crazy thing because I haven't been there before. It's gonna be very interesting to go and see the whole thing. You know, gonna be a bit crazy. Good morning, Viet Bjorn. Hey, Concept Sam. How's it going? Yeah. And congratulations to Quentin, who's in the chat. He got second place in Kit Bash. If anyone is aware, Kit Bash is like a pre-made kit for 3D. You can mash together and use them as you want to generate a scene or generate an environment, whatever. And it's like you buy it and then it's license free. And you can use it as much as you want. And he was in a competition to use a set, and he won second place. Congrats, Quentin. Hey, Örjan. Captain Boss. Yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame. Hey, Jenny, how's it going? How's it going, Jenny? Yeah, like I said, congratulations, Quentin. Touch my beard. Yeah. Uh, yeah, congratulations, Quentin. Second place. GG. Um, let's try to actually let's try to find it. Ah, here he is. This is his entry. Quentin's Kit Bash 3D Warzone second place. Oh yeah, Quentin Pointillart. Pointillart. Um, every French person in the world is crying right now how I'm butchering his surname. Pointillart. Hey Tormod, how's it going? Quentin is the winner of second place. Wait, what, Nabir? How's it going? Alright, let's start a timer. And I will do an Elven Guard this time around. You're the first loser, Quentin. You're the first place loser. Should have a spear. You are the best loser of them all. But I think it's good to be in competitions. It's really good. You push your skill set, regardless of. I mean, of course, if you don't give a shit, then yeah, um, then you shouldn't go into a competition even. But if you try your best, you will level up. You will potentially win something, like Quentin, the happiest loser. Yeah, yeah, you could say that as well. You can say that as well. You're the best of. Nah, that's gonna. You're the best loser. No, if you're the best loser, that means you're at the bottom. You're the first loser, or you're best at losing. Uh, uh, I mean, yeah, exactly. Quentin is gonna be hungry. The winner is like, growing fat. Hey, Eric, how's it going? I'm gonna rant a little bit here on it's a good topic of kit bash and pushing technology and pushing techniques. Um, and it's also on the subject of like what's your brush you use or or uh-oh, but like what brush do you use or you know that kind of rant. But I was thinking the other day when I was um, trying to rationalize a certain way of thinking, and I was thinking in the lines of, all right, so I tried to explain, or what tablet to use, yeah. I was trying to explain um, to someone about um, there's a point in your career where technology, or I mean technique, um, won't be a hindrance for you to be creative, right? There's going to be a point in your skill set where you feel that you are free to create, uh, and you don't need to worry about what your hand is doing, right? And there's going to be a point where where you can stop struggling with the mechanical aspect of your hand creating art and only focus on or like subject, right? Um, so uh, I naturally went to the point of, yeah, you have to master your tools, um, right? That makes sense. In order for you to be good at something, you got to be really good at using. Let's say if you're a traditional artist, you would be using a pencil. let's say arbitrary, it's a pencil, right? Or a brush, or clay, or whatever. It's very seldom in traditional art, I mean, true masters at something, they don't shift their goalpost too far, right? It's like saying Picasso stopped drawing or oil painting and decided that sure he's only going to paint in the mirror. You know, maybe he did. Who knows? But my point being is like to truly master something, you also gotta how to how to make a point out of it, how to clarify it. Kim Jong Gi, right? I hope that's his name, and I didn't like make him into the North Korean dictator. Uh, he uses an ink pen, like that's it. And his mastery is not. Cheers. And his mastery is not pushing with kit bashing or photo sourcing or the latest and greatest technique, right? He's just straight up ink pen and fingers. So that made me think, is a lot of artists who push technology um, hurting themselves by chasing the next stage rather than mastering one. You know, like for many years, for example, I loved using just a standard hard brush. And a lot of people over the years have asked, like, oh, what brush is this? Or how do you paint? And most of my answer, most of the times, were just, it's just a hard brush. I have changed it slightly now to this brush, but I more or less only use one brush. And I'm by no means telling you that I've mastered it or that I'm some sort of master. But what I'm trying to the point I'm trying to make is is that of you can spend a lifetime using one style of brush and being like ridiculously good at it. For example, Crypt Crawler, right? What's his name? That crazy illustrator. And I'm quite sure he doesn't use any fancy stuff. He straight up paints it for a month, right? He has a month deadline on one painting. Brad Rigney, yeah, thank you, Eric. Handsome Brad, exactly, Alex. Hey, Gria, what's up? So I mean, he doesn't do anything. I'm quite sure he doesn't do anything like VR. He's just a straight up gangster when it comes to painting. And I think, and one could argue he is that good because he hasn't strayed. Like, look at Jesper Acing, traditional painter and now digital painter. You know, he has spent most of his career doing traditional, and he's a monster at it. Would he be as good if he would be experimenting with new techniques? That's kind of where I'm going with this kind of rant. that, like, what?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Gria. Thank you, man. Happy to be a small part of this excellent, valuable community. Cheers, everyone. Oh no, cheers for you, Gria. You got your number 6. Oh damn, Gria. You got your number 6. Here's a gold badge for you. 2 out of 3 gold badges. 3 out of 3 is your what? Your 12 or 9? I don't know. Gria Embar, you are the boss. Atsuki. Well, that's also very interesting, um, and that's. I wish. I wish that, in for example, in Counter Strike, you can have a gun with stats on it. Like, oh yeah, I've killed 500 people with this gun, right? 500 people have died with this weapon. And in that sense, you can have stats on how well you played with the gun, right? In a way, maybe we need to start treating a brush like a gun in a game. Obviously you can change how you play Counter Strike depending on which gun you choose, and certain guns require certain situations, right? Concept Sam, kinda. But my point being that what is my point? My point is that a lot of people, as an example, people using DAS 3D anatomy, that shortcut that a lot of people do to get something down fast, use technology to advance. Like, yes, um, they get a good anatomy base to work from. But personally, this is just my taste here now. I absolutely hate the look of DAS 3D base. You can see it, and for me it's awful. And for me, it's a shortcut that you don't need. Because as I see it, if you can't draw something so essential as a character, and you struggle with it, you shouldn't do characters in that sense. You can, for me, you can use that shortcut of a DAS 3D base if you absolutely know it, and if you absolutely can reproduce it, and you do it as well on the side after using DAS 3D, like on a study or sketching. Absolutely, Concept Sam, and I think that is the next point I was gonna make. Why I think using a DAS 3D base is wrong. As an example, personally, I don't mind if you do. I'm just putting my thoughts out there, right? Is that if I would study a dancer, let's say a woman posing for me, and I would be looking at this woman through my lenses, my beer goggles, through my lenses, right? and I would analyze her figure. I would analyze her motion, not clinically, absolutely far from clinically. I would I would Of course, you can never remove sexual preferences or sexual things so that you find attractive. So, of course, you're looking at, let's say, in this instance, a woman dancer that you're studying to make a beautiful painting of a dancer, or using the anatomy for something, whatever. You're going to filter that through your likings and dislikes. You're going to filter what cool movie you liked the other week that kind of was etched into your mind a bit. You're going to filter it using your life experiences. And maybe you're an ass guy or tits guy, to be crude about it. But it's more in a term of like what you enjoy looking at, right? Um, and and you maybe elongate the legs, or maybe you're a face guy or hands guy. You absolutely love the look of women's hands, and you're going to be filtering that, and you're going to pay attention to the fingers, or you're going to pay attention to the hair, or you're going to make the butt bigger, and that's just one example, and that drastically changes your interpretation of the study, but also whatever you can create besides that. So you're going to create an alien, and you're going to remember that study you did that one time where you hired a dancer to pose for you, and the anatomy was just clicking those things you absolutely enjoyed, and you painted something that was very interesting, and all of a suddenly that kind of snowballs into this massive thing. And then compare that to DAZ 3D, where there's so many decisions already been made that is so neutral, right? And if you never go that journey of studying something and filtering it through your experiences and thoughts and likes and dislikes, you're never gonna evolve. So in that way, in return of this kind of long path I took to try to explain why maybe a hard brush is best to use a lot before you like, for example, try starting using texture brush or using shortcuts or DAZ 3D, is there going to be any masters in this field? And the masters that are deemed as masters now, like, let's say Craig Mullins, he doesn't use a lot of fancy stuff. He's a straight up classic process gangster. I don't know. Örjan, yeah, absolutely, absolutely, and that's another point. Oh snap! That's another point I think is worth bringing up, and I absolutely think, this long rant was about should you or should you not push technology. Yes, absolutely. Like the fact that we have 3D, we have VR, we have DAZ 3D, we have the ability, like Örjan wrote, to turn the camera and chase that idea. It's the same in theory as using your own model, right? And you place her on a pedestal, or maybe you move around until you get that angle you absolutely need, and then you study it, right? It's the same thing, kind of, and it's nothing wrong with it. And like I said, you should if you want to use DAZ 3D, absolutely use it. But you should also not use it when you don't need that shortcut. So the same with like texture brushes or hard brushes or VR or photo bashing. We all can spot let's say bad photo bashing, but we also can see really good photo bashing. And I can guarantee you, majority of the good photo bashing is when it's seen through the lens of an artist and not just technical masturbation of the technique. You know, there's no soul there. There's no choices. There's no artistic decisions being made. It's just all just going through the steps. And I've touched on this subject before, and I think that is the sign of a great artist versus another great artist, that those decisions being made with taste and filtering through their own artistic eye, right? And that's also what separates a beginner from a veteran, is that the beginner try their very utmost to do that, but they have technical aspects ahead of them, the mileage of not being used to the tools that they have to use, that might use in the future, right? You have all these millions of tools to use, and you don't know how to use them fully for it to be innate, like automatic. And I think to create really beautiful art, technique can't be in the way, unless you're lucky. And you know, you strike gold, and that's absolutely possible. You know, like anyone can you know, have a random events occur and coming out with a great end result. But the ability to reproduce it over and over and over again is the sign of someone truly mastering their trade or truly understanding what they're doing. Hey, Stacey, how's it going, man? Good morning. Hey, Dead Toothbrush, how's it going? Good morning, man. Yeah, I mean, your luck can only get you that far for sure. And you can see it as well when, for example, um, the the event of gumroads have, for me, made it very evident of people's artistic choices are trends. As an example, I'm not going to be shitting on anyone, but I need to make an example to make the point across. So, my apologies in advance. Hey, Shires, how's it going? You're just on time. Hey, Toothbrush. It's about. It started with hard rand brush, and it's the whole idea is about like what separates a great artist from another great artist, and beginners and the journey to get to that point, right? You're free to re-listen to this. This is a 25-minute rant deep so far. Um, hard rant brush. Yeah. So, Gumroad. Um, and again, this is not going to be shitting on anyone, mind you. It might sound like it, but it's not. Um, so, an artist called Anthony Jones. most of you are probably familiar with his work. He also releases a lot of gumroads, and a lot of people buy his gumroads, especially his character and creature design stuff, for more than one reason. Um, One reason being Anthony Jones is great at pushing technology. He experiments with technique. Definitely a skilled artist. All in all, it's really good, um, and there's nothing wrong with it. A lot of beginners, they buy his gumroads and copy, right? And we can see a lot of Anthony Jones copycats. Like, oh look, I'm really good. I've made something with dangling bits like 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 this. Let's see. Let me reproduce Anthony Jones design decisions, like these kind of things. Here's look, I'm Anthony Jones. And it's not. Again, I'm not shitting on him. It's his style, right? And there's nothing wrong with it. It's let him all the power to him. That's great. Um, but you can also spot the people who bought his Gumroad and bought his style, and they're making the moves, not really fully understanding them, and 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 you can say that, oh yeah, people have moved beyond his design decisions and his taste, and they think that they are better now because they can reproduce it as a monster rather than a woman standing or a wizard or whatever the Gumroad was about, and they are forgetting that they based their progress on someone else's like artistic filtering, right? Um, I mean, that being said, it's a great way to get a good starting point. You can copy your favorite artist's style and get to the point of you know speed ahead. But for me, that's wrong. It's like that's not that's does 3D pose character, right? It's is using the base to thinking that you already understand it. Do you understand the difference? Is like the whole rant about using DAS 3D as a shortcut without learning the anatomy of your own and filtering it and making your own taste and decisions based on your observations of real world anatomy, um, is going to be a radically different outcome. And one person who I must say did the right choices and understood the lessons that you could have learned from, let's say, an Anthony Jones mentorship or Gumroad is Milan Nikolic, right? He took Anthony's principles and theories and applied it to his own use, and he did his own studies and he figured it out on his own using AJ's teachings as a jumping off platform and not a crutch. And then Milan mastered the fact that he was repeating it over and over, and he was teaching his own flavors of what he thinks is good and bad, his own artistic filtering in order to make something beautiful, and he definitely is great now. Long rant. Captain Bose, I don't know. It's a fine line. Like you should use technology to push things forward. You also shouldn't forget about the mastery of the. Like you gotta boil everything down to something that's basic, and whatever thing you put in your hand, it has to move through you, right? Like 3D coat or a pencil. Either way, it's down to you as the artist, right? And the design decisions you choose and make and don't make. Yeah, I don't know. Weird rant. Gria, yeah, absolutely, I can see that. But basics will never go away, I think. And I got an email from Das 3D saying, here's the latest update, buy this. Concept Sam. Yeah, well, it's a little bit of everything, I think. Tell a great sculptor of humans to make a monster. He'll probably struggle, or she, either way. Yeah, so that's it. That was really fast 30-minute rant. That half an hour just fucking blew through the office. Let's see who we can raid. Ah, pixel art tits and ass. Oh, there's me. Shoo! Zombie. No. Tim Remmers. Oh. Let's raid Tim Remmers. You want to see that dwarf hunter sculpt? All right. Where are you? Where are you, dwarf hunter sculpt? I saw you. There. Death sculpt. All right. Let's see what Death Sculpt is up to. Alright, have a great day everyone. Thank you for joining, and hopefully the rant made some sort of sense. Anyways. See you guys tomorrow morning. You guys are fantastic. Oh, yeah, right. Okay, bye everyone. Toodles.